Hello everybody, here we are again. Busy with Blade-2, of course. I just received some presets from Jamal, just 1 minute ahead of the stream, the ones which he has ready. So I need to check out how they jump in here. Most likely I need to reselect Blade-2, which we'll do in a second. And this is one of the new presets. It's called Tunnel Vision Synth. And it is preset number 2 of it, which has a very long reverb. It's really a spacey sound. And this one only uses the noise. And the combination here is that it is noise, but it goes into the filter. And the filter has a comp filter. And what I did with this preset is, if you see the frequency here and you go in the upper section, there's the readout, and you go over this parameter, you can see that the frequency is 440 Hertz. And then I use key tracking. So this comp filter follows the note. And then you got the combination of this tuned noise with the comp filter. So if I go here, click on the filter icon, it is bypass. Then you only have the tuned noise. Let's make it a bit harder. It's also nice. But in this preset, I combine it with the comp filter, which makes that it's a very spacey ambient sound. And of course, you can move the XY here, which makes it a bit detuned. By the way, double click, it brings back the blade in the middle position. So, okay, so that's very spacey, isn't it? Video is okay, audio is okay, well, great. We are busy with Blade-2. Last week we had, of course, the first time that you guys could see it. There are a few little things which we changed. Here you have these little blade icons, which is for the selecting a section. Of course, in the upper section, this we had last week also 2 blade icons, but here it's the case that it's either working as a harmonizer or it works as an additive one. And of course you can shut them both off. Nothing is working now here. It's only the noise. So now it's only the noise what you hear. And here you can select the oscillator, and of course the oscillator needs to click here to put it on. So then you see also here some of the labels go fade out because it's inactive. That shows that it's inactive. So what you can have with Blade-2 is the harmonizer or additive active or nothing active up here. The oscillator can be active or not active, and the noise can be active and not active. So essentially, oscillator noise can be combined together with harmonizer or additive. So 3 things you can combine together. Well, and sometimes for a sound you only need one thing. In this case, it's the noise, which is really very nice sound. And the version 1 is the same sound, but without the long reverb, which is still same, as almost sounding as this one has also a reverb. So if you look down here we have FX1, 2, and 3. You see nothing is playing, and it has a very long release, and then it's the same sound. So already a very long sound, almost as if there is a reverb, but this is the long release, which is down here in the amp section. And of course version 2 is adding the reverb, make it even more spacey. Yeah, and so of course everybody is curious about the release. Well, most likely next week, Tuesday, and in worst case Wednesday next week. So 27th of October or 28th of October, Blade-2 will be released. The people who have the original Blade and purchase from May this year, they get a free upgrade. We send them automated the Blade-2 if they purchase on Papen.com, and if you purchase at a reseller, you simply only have to send us an email with attached the copy of the invoice. And of course, for the people who own Explorer 6, they have to download again Explorer 6 to add a Blade-2, or maybe simply only download the full version of Blade-2, which is also in the download section, and then you can also add Blade-2 to your Explorer 6 bundle. Yeah, so another thing, yeah, it's as mentioned in the start of we should have here the bank from Jamal, but it doesn't pop up here yet. That has to do with the fact that it needs to update. So give me 1 second, because just 1 minute before I started, receive a few presets from Jamal. So let's see if they pop up now. Yeah, here we are. So let's play them. For me, it's also the first time that I hear them. And of course, he always has a 1 finger, is it all? 1 finger, which is most likely he uses the chord mode in the play mode section. Here is he chord 4. So okay, let's see what happens. Well, I can see he uses ratcheting on step number 14. And of course, this is maybe nicer if you combine it with a beat. It's not the right tuning, but this is one of the first presets. Let's go to the next one. Also using chord mode, if I'm not wrong. Yes, 5 notes, chord mode. So here you see the chord mode is very different than from the past. Now you can really, the first step is of course the root note. So if I play a C, this is the C. And then you got the second and third note, which you can detune in semitones. So I just will play a few sounds. I'll shut down the microphone because you hear my keyboard playing. I can see in this one he uses the oscillator and also noise and even additive. So 3 parts are used here. If you click on the label, you only hear then the particular part. So additive, and then he added some oscillator part and then the noise part together. Okay, so I'm go to the next presets, and when I have put on. Yeah, definitely. Blade-2 is a very cool synth for sound effects. A creepy one, this one. A sequence here. And he uses also the Y position on step number 2. So the step number 2 makes another position in the XY. So it's a combination of modulation together. Cool Arpeggiator sound. Let's play this one with some beat. Yeah, very cool. Of course, what I can do, if I go to the manager, I can give this one a star, and then I would put this one in the introduction bank, which is still empty. The introduction bank we always do for the demo version. It has only the introduction bank, and it's a combination of all kind of presets from particular banks. So let's go to the next one. Sound Mad Dog sequence, and here additive noise on the oscillator again. Ratcheting is used, and what you can do is yourself, if you think, oh, the ratcheting is a bit too much, you can go off or on cycle then. So then the first time it plays without ratcheting, and then with ratcheting. Yeah, cool, isn't it? Here's other sequence sound. Well, definitely a cool synthesizer if you're doing music for games, or maybe some horror movies. Here again you see the chord mode, 5 notes. If I hit one note, 5 notes are playing. Spine chill. Cool sound. Yeah, there's also distortion on board, of course. And nice sound. And this one will maybe even cooler if you use third effects, even add a reverb. And that's, of course, a different compared to the original Blade and Blade-2, is that in Blade-2 you have 3 effects. Let's play a bit more. Isn't it? Oh, I need to save this one. Save as with reverb, because that's so nice with reverb. I will call this one number 3. I don't think that Jamal will mind. I think he will agree that this sounds good. So yeah, this is the first ones of Jamal. Of course, the original Jamal presets from Blade 1 are also inside here, and they are also very cool. Digital whales. And there, by the way, from the original Blade 1 presets, there are many nice presets. What is also very cool is the Psytrance bank from Scope, which has some very interesting typical Psytrance. Some good sounds, and what of course is the case, because we increased the audio quality even more with Blade 2, that everything sounds even more powerful. Yeah, another thing which so I played already some of the Jamal presets. Of course, from Tonal Axis we received presets which I played already last week, some of them, and some very nice. Also a horror movie, this one. What a nice basis also. Where was it? Let's see, where was it? Wave bass. Yeah, of course, there is a lot of distortion. What I was doing ahead of the live stream was making a kind of a TB303 type of thing. Let me go to the ARP and sequence. There I started. So here's some new preset. By the way, you can see we have animated dials. So if things are modulated, it appears in the parameter, but you can shut it off if it's irritating for you. Turn dial modulation off, and then it's off. But I was working. Let me see if I can find this one. Oh, TB Blade Edge, that one I wanted to. It's a bit very thin, as it is in the start. And it's typically the harmonizer here. It's very thin. And here I use the 12 dB low pass filter, 0 delay. Or maybe I should go to the 24-bit one or the, yeah. Okay, let me see, where is it? Well, this is pretty thin, and if you take the regular oscillator, which one is one from BID, you see this one is a bit fuller. But for this typical TBT sound, I think this one is maybe better. Get resonance. I can use the modulation wheel. Now there is a distortion already here in the amp section. I don't use pre-distortion here. I use it on the amp. It gets to get dirty, and then here you can pick also some distortion amp simulator. Pretty loud. And now you hear the distortion. Yeah, in the Arpeggiator, this is of course a bit boring now, but what you can do in the command, you can say copy Arp A to car B, copy Arp A to B, and then you also have Arp B, and you can make that one a bit different. Just glide a bit, and then you can say join. Then it plays first the other one and then the other one. Let's see if it plays a bit. So, oh, a bit of these type of sounds are also. But I mean, I'm tweaking now, but it's I mean, you can even use a bandpass filter. That gets really thin, but sometimes these little thin sounds. Tell me the low pass filter. I'm getting too long in this one, so I save this one, but it's not interesting now. But you see, with your Arpeggiator, you can do some other things. You see gliders there, time mode, and you can join, which means that it first plays up A and down up B, or you can use stop, and top means that this upper note, you don't see it, I think, when I play the B5, it plays sequence A. When I hit the note C6, it plays sequence B. So that you can make your own decision. That's B. Okay. Oh, let's go back to some other presets. But of course, this is just a thing which is, of course, essentially also possible with the other synthesizers. This type of things with distortion, and then what you can do different here is that with Blade you control the harmonic content. So if I would go here, you can choose between odd and even. So if I go here, you can see you only okay. Let's see. You can see it in the. Excuse me. You see the odd even harmonics. So I can use the XY for this. So here I can. Okay, and here I can have a dynamic. Or even control with a timbre. So you can go a bit further, because here you can change really the waveform inside the harmonizer. So I have a timbre wave. Let's take this one. So now I put it central, and I could use then timbre. Let me see, that's here that I move to the right. So that makes it, of course, different compared to this type of sequence sound in a Predator, or let's say a BIT. Is that with the XY you can control then this harmonizer and the harmonic content. And this you can record, of course, as a parameter, or yeah, use MIDI controllers. So let's see. That makes it a bit different. So I save this sound. You will find it back in the once it's released, the save preset. But it's more to show you what you can do with a sequence in combination with the harmonizer and this XY pad here. What you can do together with that. The ripple, yeah, that's a good question. Let's go to a very ugly basic preset, which you go to introduction bank, and here you see. Very ugly here, a very ugly saw wave. Now ripple makes really, you use a waveform, and this is the ripple amount, and watch what happens. The ripple width is much smaller, so here's the ripple. So when I go with the width, and this is the amount. So you modulate the harmonics with a ripple wave, and yeah, you see there's different types. You need to try it out, linear. You can also have a triangle or even a saw. So now the ripple width, you can have it here on this one. Okay. Oh, the ripple width I need to change. 1 second. That's why cool now. You can change the modulation. So I can take from the harmonizer also the ripple width. So, okay. Yeah, you can do some weird stuff. So this is the essentially, and that's cool that it's displayed here. You show here as a waveform. So if you click in this section or as a harmonic, this is a static harmonic or a dynamic harmonic, then you see really the changes to the harmonizer. Of course, yeah, it's from the start, the people who own the first Blade know that with Blade you run into a great sound or sometimes really in a crappy sound. Sometimes it's just a little bit of experimental with the harmonizer. So and the things it does. So the ripple and the ripple width, yeah, you saw it in the upper wave. And also in general, I know what it does, but I also very often simply click on a different wave or a different waveform here, or change from left to right. And sometimes you run into a great sound. And that's the thing you need to do with Blade-2. If you would have Blade-2 yourself and you change a little bit and think, oh, this is cool, then save the preset, because it's not always logic. So this is IQ sail pad, and you see harmonizer is used, but also the oscillator. That's the reason why we added the oscillator, is that you can give it an additional body. You can also, almost layer a sound. So this is only the harmonizer, which is also interesting. But then with the it adds a kind of body to it. So if I put off the harmonizer, and then it's also, now you can see why we added a filter to it. Now you see that the oscillator has the output goes directly into FX1. And the harmonizer goes to the distortion, which is not active. So it passes on from distortion to the filter. And the filter is a vowel filter. So that is the reason why we have in this oscillator a high pass and a low pass filter, so that you can, even if you don't use this filter, that you still can change the sound. Now the ripple filter is really changing the it's modulating the waveforms. So it what we saw with the saw wave, and let's go back again to, because then that's most clear thing what you then can see. So you see a ripple wave is a sound wave. You have the width. Okay, let's let a bit a ripple amount, and you see this sinus wave jumping here. So over this whole harmonics, it changes the harmonic content. All the whole harmonics are changing. And the ripple width, the more I make it smaller, the more ripples you see. So you see really a sinus inside this harmonic. So this is the normal saw, and then you see the ripples appearing. And if you take here as a ripple waveform a saw, you see a saw appearing as a ripple. Okay, so I'm missing out a bit of the chat room. Sorry for that. Somebody, yeah, there will be. If you have Blade-1, you can update. It will cost €39, $39 the upgrade if you own Blade-1. And of course, the people who are happy with the Explore 6 bundle, they get Blade-2 for free. Okay. How's the CPU hit? Well, this computer, what I have here, is 7 years old, and it's pretty okay. I can make a lot of noise with it. It depends. Of course, if you use chord, then you need to keep in mind, if you hit one note, the engine plays the other notes for you. So if you have chord 4, it plays 4 notes. So with this, let me see if I go to this synth. If you have this space organ, which is now I play myself the chord, and if you go to the next preset, it's called space organ minor to show the play mode with a minor chord. So you see here, of course, it's a 4 semi. What's not? Oh, it's not a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a minor. It's a different one. I need to correct that one because it's 3 semi and okay, this is sound designer bug. Still sounds cool. But you see, I hit one note and then the engine plays the other note, so that you have to keep in mind. There's also this strumming. Yeah, the Arpeggiator compared to the other ones, I think it's currently the most powerful one, I think, in terms of Arpeggiator, because we added 2 additional rows. We have A and X and Y for controlling the X and Y position, and we have ratcheting, which is a subject that popped up a few months ago by a user, how to do these kind of things, these ratcheting type of sequences. And it's possible with the other products already. If you have double speed and you do then some steps off and the other ones on. But of course, the 2 steps is of course a cool feature by doing it by ratcheting. So let me see if I have a preset chord steps. So this is really using the chord mode, and I could say number 10, ratcheting 2, then instead of playing 1/16th note, it plays 2 1/32th note. Of course, I need to put on ratcheting here. And then, of course, you have the option to even make it controllable with velocity. So if I play, I set here the threshold when I play soft. There's no ratcheting. When I play louder, then the ratcheting appears. Of course, I think it's nicer if it's a bit shorter for this sound. Harder. So now it's jumping on this velocity. So let's play this. And now play louder. So now it's on the velocity threshold. By the way, this ratcheting thing, we also will add in a future update of Submoon Base 2. So it will be, this ratcheting will be appearing in more products. It's a very cool feature. And yeah, you see we added, because ratcheting is already appearing on older analog sequences like a Moog sequencers. There it was already called ratcheting. And essentially what happens is that in this step, so step 10, you can say off, which simply makes this 10th step a 1/16th note. With 2 ratcheting, it makes it 1/32th note. 3, it makes it a triple kind of thing. And with 4, it's essentially 1/64th note, which is a bit high in this case. But 4 makes sense because you also can say to the sequencer, play half tempo. So, okay. Oh no, there's 2 times. Half time is of course this one. And that's the... And maybe you notice that we have for sequence A speed and sequence B. So sequence B, and let's make a few more notes, plays simply its own speed. So this is half speed, and this is the double, the normal speed. So also these kind of combinations you can do with the Arpeggiator. So when I hit now very hard, the ratcheting should kick in. You see, of course, I also could say ratcheting always on, down here in this menu. And then I have half speed. Yeah, cool, isn't it? And then, of course, you have the option to control the XY. So the XY is here connected to several things, and you see in the background, you see the blade popping up, and this is because of the XY has a different position here. So the step 10, it goes only Y 29 in the positive direction. And the cool thing, I can shut it off here, making it bypass. And now I put it on. Yeah, you can make really kind of how you call that, a kind of wave type of sequencing thing, because each step can have a different type of waveform because you really change the harmonizer. Okay, somebody's asking here. With aftertouch, no, the only thing is what we have now is velocity. Aftertouch is a bit trickier, I think, to but could be maybe an option for an update to, instead of velocity, to use aftertouch for activating the ratcheting. But I need to check that with John. So yeah, in terms of Arpeggiator, very, very powerful. You have, of course, a lot of nice sounds. Typically also blade sound with the harmonic of the... You got a more a bell type thing because of the timbre waveforms. Of course, if you look at a traditional virtual analog machine, you are definitely limited to the sinus waveform, saw, square, and triangle. And of course, additive has far more options in terms of waveform. So therefore, you hear this character of a bell. Oh, ratcheting, yeah, for RG, that's indeed a very interesting idea, yeah. Of course, RG needs an update in the near future, but that will take a while before we have this on the table, because, yeah, we have some other plans too. But indeed, that will be also a cool... Now, this one is also an Arpeggiator. Yeah, then, yeah, some new sounds, lead sounds, guitar, distortion. I'm not sure if I played it last week. Yeah, you see the distortion here is used in this part, and even, I think down here also in the FX section. Yeah, it's a very, how you said it, versatile synthesizer. It's not always easy because you have so many options. On the other hand, therefore we added, of course, the, let me see where we are. We added, of course, the easy page. So here we have the easy page. So if I have a nice sound like this one, Yeah, what you can do here is change how the XY changes all the amounts at once. You can hear from the harmonizer, you can change a group. The oscillator you can have here. And you have the amplifier section still. You can change the FX here. So even here, in the easy page, you have a limited amount of controls, but you can hear just by simply playing around a bit without going deep, you have a different preset. So this is the edited preset, and then this is the original one. And this is the edited one. Of course, if you have such a preset and think, oh, this is cool, then you need to save the preset with your own name in your own folder, which you could create, because the preset also memorizes the setting of the easy page. So this is not lost, it's also memorized the easy page setting. Yeah, sure, you can do Midi learn, no problem, even for this group. Latch to Midi, and here we are, no problem. That's of course possible. Also here you have you can save your own setup or clear Midi, then it is cleared. So these are features which are also in our other synthesizer, which you will find also in Blade-2. The bank manager is here, of course. Okay, let me see the chat room. Yeah, it's a very, correct, very diverse. The lead, somebody said the lead with band strip work. Not sure if I understand that question. The strip for wheel pitch. Yeah, maybe about this lead sound which we had in this bank. Maybe what you can do is, of course, I can use this one to change the tone. And I go here in the but I also could say to use here the XY to go extreme with my pitch band. Because this is free here, the things you can use. So this is for the vertical movement instead of bass or range. Let me see if one is free. Down here is one free. I take then global. It's off from the harmonizer. The pitch, semi-pitch, and okay. Here it is. I'll make it go down. The other way around. Oh, you mean the ribbon controller? Oh, yeah, here, this one. Okay. Okay, this I can do. Yeah, sure. You go in to the modulation matrix, and there you can say MIDI source or expression. This is this one, expression. And you go to the harmonizer and select semi. And then, of course, you need to select what you want to do. You want to go down maybe one octave. Yeah, this is definitely, that's a good point. It's not a go-to synthesizer from maybe for some producers, but it does some very cool stuff. It's a really preset machine because not everybody is, maybe a bit shocked by all the options you have, but therefore we added the easy page, and of course a nice range of sounds. So if you search for wobbles, they are here. I mean, many windows, that's indeed. So Bank Manager, you have the easy page, and then the main screen. Then here you can select between harmonizer or additive. You can have an additional oscillator and noise. Then of course you have the distortion, you have the filter, the amp, the FX1, and here in the middle section you can select the XY, the up page, the harm modulation, which came over from the first Blade, which means that with this page you have velocity, envelope, LFO, and a free source to control the harmonizer. So you can put things on here, you see, and then control the odd even with velocity. So this is a direct connection to the harmonizer, which came over from Blade 1. So therefore it's called harm modulation matrix here. Then there's a general matrix, which have a pitch envelope, free envelopes. You have the advanced mode also with the modulation matrix. Or maybe some people know this from RAW. Then wave, you can analyze a waveform. So from, let's say a waveform, you can load it in and make a user wave. And then it's the play mode, how it plays. Is it legato, polyphonic? You have portamento here, pitch bend up and down, the chord memory, some global settings. On the right side, there's this filter, the amp section, FX1, 2, and 3, and of course, here you also have these 3 FX. There's a lot on board. And it's a really a synth geek synthesizer, and I think definitely because of its own sound, it has a really definitely a own character, and that makes it so cool next to a BIT or Predator, whatever. It's really again a different synthesizer, different character. It's not really resynthesis, because resynthesis you can have in different types. You can really resynthesis like the earlier Chameleon, which is now a Logic plugin that really analyzes a longer sample and divides that in simple, makes that in additive waves, but they are in particular order. That's not possible with Blade 2. It's a whole different concept. But still, you can catch a character by the waveform. Because, for instance, this one here. So I go to default preset and I go to timbre. You see, we have all kind of timbres. And for instance, this vocal here. If I go to timbre fully to the right, then I have fully the timbre, which is selected here, which is a vocal sound. And you see here the harmonics. This is not something you can draw from your head, because this is simply analyzed from a sample, because then the program looks to the sample and they say, okay, these are these harmonics inside this waveform, and regenerates that. So that's the type of resynthesis inside Blade 2, but it's a static waveform. So if I would go to the additive, I can select there also this waveform, timbre 4. Okay, where is it again? Here it is, fold 2. Okay, here it is again. And here I can adjust it. But then it's a totally different sound. It's not this R anymore. So I have to put here R again to have it. So it's a static one. Okay, what you can do then here is, if you have this vocal thing, and you can combine 4 together. So if you want to say, I want to go from this vocal to another vocal, you can select here a other waveform. Let's see what we pick here, a R, and then you can say set R mix, and then you can go from R to, and with Blade and this additive mode, you can go up to 4 waveforms and go between these 4 waveforms. So I can go to wave C and select there something else again, and then wave D and select there also something else. And then I go here. I need, of course, set this to mix A to D. And now I mix between these 4. And of course, the cool thing is also you have, for each waveform, you have not only the amp of the harmonics or the partials, but you can control the phase of the tuning also, or the fine tuning. And this is what I did in this preset, which is inside this bank, which is called, it was called, yeah, how was it called again? Fall harmonics. Now you see wave A and B are used. So A, B goes to A in this movement. And if I look here to the tuning, you can see that the semi-tuning of A and B is different. So harmonic 5 has semi-tuning 10, different tunings for the partials. So it glides also. While this is not possible with any of the other additive synths, if I'm not wrong, because this is really very special. Normally you would hear maybe this, the mix. If you don't want the tuning, then you can say, okay, I only want the mix, A, B, then you can do. Then it mixes between these 2 waveforms, which are, but if you use morph, it morphs between the both of them. And then, of course, the cool thing is that, yeah, because one wave has different tuning in some of the partials, you have this glide. Yeah, what you could do then with Blade is that make it, maybe combine this with a big analog synthesizer. So let's see. So now, okay, FX1's chorus. So now I have this more analog type sound. It has its own volume envelope, detuning, unison, its own unison. And what I can do in the modulation matrix, I can use the free envelope to make it give it a bit of a sweep. So I make here a nice envelope, and I pick the envelope, the free envelope 1, and I address that to the analog oscillator, and then to the filter, low pass filter frequency. Okay. And you suddenly see that it is also moving here. You see it? It's even possible because resonance, you don't see it in the lower section of this oscillator. You see low pass and high pass filter, but still it's possible if you use offset. Okay, once here is offset, to add some resonance to this analog oscillator filter. So I go here and you see low pass filter Q. And now I can use this type of sound as is with this additive one. Oh yeah. So now I essentially have a two-layer synthesizer. I stack, let's say, a additive synthesizer together with a virtual analog. I maybe should save this one also, but maybe it would also be cool to give this one a bit of portamento. Let's see how that works. Yeah, and you see the modulation. Now I could use also fade and make it go up. Let's see, and you see the timing. So it goes up again, maybe a bit longer. Okay, now combine. Okay, I need to save this one. So I call this one save preset as a full harmonic Anna or something. Anna. If it fits, let's see. Yeah, it fits. So this is a combination. Instead categories, I could say, well, this is digital and analog combined. So this is a synth sound, and you will find this one also. So here, this is one of the reasons why this oscillator is added to, yeah, to give it more freedom in terms of synthesis. Oh boy. Yeah, maybe let's see if I have maybe some other sounds I maybe not play today. October Moonpad. Okay guys, so I'm gonna end up with this sound, which is October Moonpad sound. Yeah, hopefully next week Blade-2 will be out. You can enjoy it yourself. The last question I see about MPE. Well, we have plans for every synthesizer we have to add this, but we did not have the time yet, and we need to start with one. Maybe Blade-2 would be an interesting idea, but how we would do it is that in the play mode, you would have then not polyphonic mono legato and arpeggiator, but also MPE mode. But yeah, we need to dive into this, and I have a Rolly keyboard here, so I can then try it out myself. And yeah, in case you missed it, you always can watch it back, this live stream, in the live stream playlist of YouTube. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. And yeah, next week, Thursday, I will be back again. And of course, people already enjoyed Blade-2. And I would say stay safe, and thanks for watching.